All the nonsense got to cease. Let me release.
And it's those guys again. Put your hands to the sky. Put your hands to the sky. Put your hands to the sky. I be the K-I-N-G.
You have a heart of gold. Don't let them take it from you.
My soul laced the body. First of all, bring out the sun. First of all, bring out the sun. First of all, my soul laced the body. First of all, bring out the sun. Bring out the sun. This is it, I admit. For so long I've resisted the things that I've gotten suspicious with songs that I've written. Laughing at scars as I count the amount that they're all like it's none of your business. All that you have isn't bad when it's pushed to the max, and I'm asking for more when you spend and collect. This frame switching lanes like I'm ditching my car, throwing you out of your own set of doors. I've made it longer than favorites of yours. I don't run the museum, but I'm taking the tour. Deal with for real, you are wasting your skills as a person for cursing my name on a hill till your back is broken in pieces. Someone will fill the position you're reaching. Fight to the end, you'll be praising the sun like the people who know where we sampled this from. Grabbing my nuts isn't easy with both things. I'm holding two boulders as close as a slow jam. Might get a kick out of hearing that line, so do I, but I laugh cause it hurts all the time. Going forward, the awkward moment is over. If nobody told you, we got more exposure. Words that I wrote spilling out like they've had it. I'm at it beyond that, I think that I'm rapping. I'm for the chosen few who know the rules are show and prove. Who care to hold the truth anywhere the flow is used. You're my neighbor, it's nothing but flavor. The drums, they can change my behavior. It's major, I carry your friend like a soldier to safety. In through the storm like the one that will make it. Check where I'm from, what I did and I'm doing. Of how many years that I spent writing music. Over prepared for the chair in the vaults that it shares till I stare into space everywhere. I'll force you to upgrade words on the pavement to say something more than you're not entertaining. This all remains what I've wanted long since I heard MCs before me utilizing content. You hear me knocking as if heaven's door is closed, and I didn't plant the right seeds for necessary growth. I'm aggressive with the flow so you can find the event. Bring little jokes, I consider that a minor offense. Eyes closed with your head down, rock to the beat while you're looking both ways as a cross in the street. There's no need to ask if how fat this track is. You're full of only time that can't go backwards. I'm living my life like I know what it's meant for. Everything else is teaching me like a mentor. And being honest doesn't keep you from the slaughter. It's time you burn while I drink a glass of water. Instead of buying more things that you can't afford, you need the dust off the cardboard mat of yours. I break them off with the microphone, my hand is on as if I'm swinging from the chandeliers like the handlebars. I'm from another avenue, it's only natural that my mentality is shatterproof with the right attitude. Framework, I'm who they try to forget. Going overboard like your feet were drying cement. And I'm probably on the shallow end for calling this deep thought, but things have chewed me up inside, I've needed to eat smart. Your camouflage blending in with the Amazon while I'm jumping in the pool of sharks yelling cannonball. Don't be surprised if I'm not as upset, watching grown men crying over piles of debt. No longer waiting for your chaos behavior to outweigh my own thoughts of communication. Cause isn't it all quite a spectacle to make the impossible possible? I'm after your jaws on the floor when it happens, shrugging it off like I heard people clapping. This is as happy I get when I'm asking if you get to words of the strength and the passion. What more could you want from a day at a breath? Recording a song till you're dripping with sweat. I'm absurd, every word in a verse is determined to learn how you work like you're closing my curtain. Whether you dance or you stand and watch, even though I never ran the block of damaged spots, I'm way past creating to feel like I'm naked, exposing myself and not sure what I'm thinking. Made the wrong choices so many times, you don't think that I'm bad boy ready to die. And I've made up my mind if I'm taking a fall, growth is what comes from the pain of it all. Enough of the wasted doubting. If you suffer, then suffer proudly. Enough of the wasted doubting. If you suffer, then suffer proudly. My soul makes the body. First of all, bring out the sun. Bring out the sun. My soul makes the body. First of all, bring out the sun. First of all, my soul makes the body. First of all, bring out the sun. Bring out the sun. My soul makes the body. First of all, bring out the sun. First of all, my soul makes the body.
Imagine, if you will, a monster. Not one with horns or sharp teeth, but one with the ability to compel the affection of those around him. Imagine, if you will, a monster. Turned into the smiling, vacant thing you're looking at now. Imagine a monster. To do as he pleases, a monster.
Hello, ladies and gentle mimics,
Imagine
to the next
to do as he
edition
pleases,
of Jack as a Mimic
a
Live.
monster.
We upped the production value. We added the music. We got the costume changes. We got the deep lore. And we're coming at you loud and proud, streaming straight from North Jersey to go through the rewatch series. I know, it was a big reveal in the end. Does anyone know whose voice that was? Hello Shadow, hello Brayart, hello Vacuous Insight, hello Money's-Worth, hello Bread Demon, hello Sirius, hello Void, hello Solaria. So in the last stream, we rewatched my first video. In this one, we're gonna do my second video. Yeah, he's my boy too. But we're gonna do it a little bit differently because my second video was actually reacted to by Last Protagonist. Oh, Kate! Hi, Kate. I don't know if Kate would approve of this. So, in this stream, I'm not gonna just react to my second video. I'm going to react to Last Protagonist reacting to my second video. You know, we get a little meta commentary here because there's a bit of lore behind the whole thing. So let's just switch over to, let's switch over here and get some music playing. Tell me if you can see everything, if everything's still going through. Don't be scared. I think I have to make this window a little larger. Okay, let's see. So let's do a little recap, a little bit of history. Now we actually need to look up, why did the Carian Queen Grieve? Reddit. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Okay, that was my original Reddit post. So back when I made the channel, you know, I said this in the last stream, how I was, oh goodness. All right, wait, you know what? We also have to, just in case, I have to throw this up as well. Give me a second. There is something we're missing here. Wait, I gotta go add a text. Okay. Hopefully you can see that content warning, and then let me just throw in content warning. Okay, hopefully that's pinned. Content warning, live recording in progress, because we're going to be talking about, you know, very serious stuff, and I'm going to try to stay, like, very emotionally level. I have my calming tea, but this is important for me because I need to get... You're only on the search page? No, yeah, you're on my channel page, right? Or are you on... Yeah, you can watch the live show. So let me jump into this instead of stalling. So I mentioned how my first video came out December 7th, which was one day before I recovered my first memories of trauma. And it was from playing Elden Ring. I was doing Reddit posts before then in the interim, particularly... When did this post come out? November 23rd, 2023. So this video was a Reddit post before it was a video. And before I got my first memories. So I was playing through Elden Ring for like the third time. I needed to get all of the achievements. And while I was playing through it, I had just finished watching, or I just had finished reading all of Berserk, or mostly all of Berserk. And I was like so in love with it. I thought it was so cool. So I was doing this Black Swordsman cosplay build. And I was like noticing things that I didn't notice in my first playthrough. My very first playthrough, I was in the middle of my master's degree. You could see it right there. That right there, that's my master's degree. It took me 7 months to get, but at month 5, Elden Ring came out. So I took a 2-week break and I just played Elden Ring. And the only thing I remember from that playthrough was how tired I was climbing up the mountaintops of the giants. And then how, like, I was astonished by the Elden Beast. Like, that was so cool. And then I stopped playing it. And then I got, like, I think I did 2 endings. I did Ronnie's ending, and I think I played halfway through. I don't remember. But I knew I didn't get all the endings. So I had to come back and I was replaying it. And I started working this job, and I was working from home, and it was like summer months, and it was kind of slow. So like I was playing during work. Don't tell my boss. And I was listening to videos, and I used to listen to Epic Name Bro when I used to play Dark Souls in high school. So, there was no one else like that. So to catch up on lore and stuff, I was watching Smotown's videos. And so I was playing through the game, and I was listening to Smotown's videos. But I was like, this is like the first time I was going through them. I was like, wait a minute, I don't really agree with what they're saying. And particularly the thing I didn't agree with what they were saying was what happened with Rennala. So, like, for me, when my parents moved from New Jersey to Georgia in 2019, and then during COVID, they got divorced. And it was pretty messy. There's a lot of stuff I don't want to talk about for there. But the lore that I was seeing in these videos and his analysis was, hi Calix, was like, oh, Rennala is so devastated because because her husband left her. And I saw this woman, and I was thinking, well, hold on, wait a minute. My mom and my dad split up, and it wasn't very, it wasn't good. But she wasn't acting like Rennala. Like, Rennala was like barely herself. She was like crawling on the ground, and she was making all these clone children. Like, you do the resurrection painting, and she's resurrecting these children. And when you go to her to get reborn, you have to use larval tears. So I was thinking, well, she's shedding all these tears, and she's making these children. That's not like, what does that have to do with her husband leaving her? And then it clicked for me. I was like, oh, you know what the big thing about her storyline is that her daughter died. Not only did she die, but Ronnie essentially commits suicide in the Night of the Black Knives. Also, by the way, I'm not going to censor myself. I don't like censoring myself. So this is true content warning. If you feel uncomfortable with the things that I'm going to talk about, don't watch. Because this is what Elden Ring looks like for me. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is what the story is, and people are missing it. And, the story makes so much sense in that regard, because for me, I'm a big George R. R. Martin fan. I read all of A Song of Ice and Fire. And in A Song of Ice and Fire, Catelyn Stark, who was Catelyn Tully, and let me just show you what, wait, I gotta adjust my microphone a bit so it stays up. Hopefully that's good. Okay. Let me show you something interesting. So let's look at, I've shown this in, yeah, it's going to flicker in here. So we have Rennala's colors. She's got this like nice, beautiful red and blue. Rennala as a character, she is the most intelligent character in the Lands Between. You need like the highest amount of intelligence to be able to use her staff. And like, I was thinking, why is the smartest woman acting like this? But when I look at her colors, these red and blue, and she's in Leonie of the Lake, she's in this river area, she's just like Catelyn Stark. Catelyn Stark. But Catelyn Stark, before she was Catelyn Stark, before she was, you know, with the wolf sigil, she was Catelyn Tully. And the sigil of the Tullys, sigil of House Tully, is blue and red with a leaping silver trout. So it's the colors of Rennala's house. And we also have from Tough Voyaging, one moment. From Tough Voyaging, one of Miyazaki's favorite books that he mentions. He puts this next to Fever Dream, instead of just like, you know, he's not just a Song of Ice and Fire fan, he's also a Tough Voyaging fan. In Tough Voyaging, there's a character named Tali Moon. So there was all these connections. I was thinking, okay, well, this character is just like Catelyn Tully Stark. And the big thing about Catelyn Tully Stark is she thinks her children are dead. Like, she thinks one of her daughters is dead. The other daughter is kidnapped by the Lannisters, who are the Lions. She thinks her sons, Bran and oh goodness, I'm skipping on his name. His dog is Shaggy Dog. Bran and Rickon. He thinks Rickon is dead as well, and her chapters from her perspective are just like, they're some of my favorite chapters. You really get to see how, like, a mother hurts for losing their children. Like, George R. R. Martin is such a good writer because he knows how to write from the perspective of a there's so many different types of people. Also, I'm gonna make Xavier Shadow a moderator because I need a moderator. So to me, it just made so much sense that Rennala is as the Elden Ring parallel to A Song of Ice and Fire's Catelyn Stark, and since she's this mother figure who loses these children, she must be feeling so much grief and pain. Oh, what's up, Roscoe? And that just, like, I don't know, it just clicked for me. So then I'm thinking about Rennala, and I'm thinking about Catelyn Stark's chapters, and it breaks my heart. Like, it is just, like, so devastating to me. So I made this Reddit post first. Why did the Carian Queen grieve? It got 0 upvotes. I deleted this account. So I want to read through the post first, because I haven't read this in so long, and I have a lot of memory issues, so I don't really remember much. In my YouTube journey, before I did Why Did the Carian Queen Grieve, How to Understand Elden Ring was kind of born out of this Reddit post, because I was thinking that people don't understand how am I getting Radagon is the red herring in this regard. Yeah, he is. I mean, we'll talk about Radagon in a minute, but I was mostly focusing about Rennala here. I was mostly thinking about the mother and not the father, because I was just thinking about, like, my parents got divorced, and if my parents got divorced, you know, if my parents got divorced, and that's not what Rennala looked like. My mom didn't look like Rennala, but, like, how would my mom look like Rennala? It would probably be if I died. If me or my sister died, she would be devastated, you know, because she loves her children. Her own family wouldn't stand with her after that. Are you talking about Rennala? It's not about wouldn't stand. We'll talk lore in a second. I gotta get through all this stuff. Okay, so I made this Reddit post. Let's see what I said. Oh, before you read this, please answer this question with your gut reaction. Write it down and save it for later. Yeah. The title, I wanted people to think, why do they think Rennala was in the way that she was? Oh, interesting that I started with memory of grace. It is merely a cycle. Stand before the Elden Ring, become the Elden Lord, and then the law of causality. Wow, so even when I was doing the Reddit post, I was thinking, I need to enforce the cycles and the law of causality. When we meet Muriel, pastor of vows in the Church of Vows, he will tell us the history. Oh, I did not proofread this. He will tell us the history of two great houses and how they were able to come together. The great house of the Erd Tree and the great house of the Moon. Who can blame you? The shattering cause has called all of us to lose sight of something very dear. It is here at the Church of Vows that the great houses of the Erd Tree and the Moon were joined, and so our church holds in view the monuments of both houses, the Erd Tree of the capital and the Academy of Raya Lucaria. We can ask him about Lady Rennala, for which he will tell us. She is queen, head of the Carian royal family, and governor of the Academy of Raya Lucaria, the great and beautiful full moon witch. Rennala comes from a long line of queens, with the first being said to have been a young astrologer. So this one I don't really agree with them, but I was thinking along the lines. Oh, can I zoom in? Yeah, sure. Sorry, I have a big monitor. These I don't agree with all of the lore that I've come to the conclusions on here, but you know, it's just let's hide that. It's just like it's just where the basis of so for the Stargazer's heirloom, that she comes from a long line of queens, is that it doesn't say that it was Rennala, which I still think we could think about. I think I'm leading into later in the poster and the theorizing is the sword, but you know, forgive this. This is like way before. This is way before I started like producing things for public consumption. You know, we're still just theory crafting here. Rennala's communing with outer gods and reforged alliance in the lunar lake liminal spaces, while her body autopites her through this rebirthing ritual. That does sound like the Nyquil talking. You'll have to show that in the Discord because I don't know how to I don't know how to parse that one. All right, so I share the Stargazer's heirloom, and because it just says the young astrologer. Even though I still think we could work that in. With the power of the moon, she was able to not just become queen of the Carians, but also the highest ranking headmaster of the Raya Lucaria Academy. This lineage of queen and headmaster would be passed for many princesses to come. Don't agree with that anymore. Don't agree with that anymore. Rennala's full moon, sorcery associated with the Carian queen. Yeah, her in meeting the moon, queen's robe. Okay. Rennala, like the queens before her, were not only able to bewitch the academy, but she was wickedly intelligent, with nearly all items related to her either requiring high intelligence or boosting intelligence. So this one, like queens before her, that I think I wanted to... I think she comes from a lineage, but of a tradition. It makes me think of the demi-human queens, because this is kind of where I was thinking, like, the demi-humans have queens, but the queens don't really have much power. So, like, what are you going to do there? Like, there are demi-human queens, but no one in the lands between would be like, oh yeah, well, this queen has a fiefdom, and this queen is invoking taxes. Like, she's just, like, she's ruling over her demi-humans and such. All right. Queen, oh, and these are the sources where I said, this is all summarized very well in Rennala's remembrance. Okay. Miriam also tells us that about Radagon and how he and Rennala met. They met in battle, we already know this. Radagon, leading the force of the Erd Tree, invaded Liurnia in 2 bloody wars, but only bloody for one side. I agree with that. Over 2 military campaigns, the Carian knights were able to rebuke the might of the greatest empire in the lands between with fewer than 20 knights. Oh, I guess this is just me citing my sources, so I could skip that. Indeed, the Carian knights may have been the most formidable, force in the lands between, being made up by men like Moongrum and trolls like Baals. While only carrying a straight sword into battle, they would call upon the power of Caria and unleash a magic in the form of a weapon that mere strength could not wield. The Carians did not just have knights in their employ, but sorcerers from the Lazuli Conspectus were at their employ. This is redundant, doesn't really matter. And with the power of the Carian sorceries, could use their minds to create spells in the form of swords. Okay, so we're doing a lot of storytelling here, but not really much on the lore theorizing. So this is trying to tell the people a story. Muriel tells us that he soon repented his territorial aggressions. At the Church of Vows, Radagon followed an ancient practice held by the Carian royals when he cleansed himself of the celestial dew. This I thought was really important, that the thing that the Carians do is something that is old in relation to the like when we get to the Church of Vows and you get that sorceress statue, it's like, okay, well, so their traditions are older than the Carians, so what is where did they get these? Where did they get this passed down to? After the ritual, Radagon swore his love to Rennala and became husband to the Carian queen. The union would result in 3 children, Radon, Ryard, and Lunar Princess Rodney. One of the greatest gifts in the world is that of children, and a mother's love knows no bounds. Call up your mom and see how she's doing. Yeah, so this is really the core of the post. If I was going to redo this post, I would start with Rennala as a mother and what happens in her life. And instead of doing this, because what I'm doing here is I'm really being informed by like Vadi videos and Smotown videos where you have to give the background before you get to the main point and doing that storytelling. But this is the core of the point I was trying to make. While Rennala loved all of her children, her love for Ranni was special. She was a princess and one day would become queen. She would have to follow in her mother's footsteps and rule the Carian royal house. Like Rental's mother before her, she led her daughter to her moon, but it was not a full moon, it was a dark moon. The dark moon is cold, dark, and veiled in occult mystery. Indeed, for to the world, the Carians and their queen are adherents to the full moon. I suspect not even sons of Carian queens are aware of this tradition. That one, that's pretty interesting. I've kind of forgotten about that we would think about, do Rykard and Radon know about the dark moon, or do they know about, like, Rennala leading Ranni to the moon? But this also has to change because of what Rellana adds. Yet it is tradition to pass down the truth from mother to daughter of the dark moon. There is another tradition shared between the mothers and daughters of Caria, and it's the discarded palace key. What it opens a treasure chest passed down to Carian princesses. Now this one would have to be changed. It's the Carian princesses thing that made me think this is something that Rennala had to have as well. But what we learn with Shadow of the Erdtree is Rellana was also a princess. Didn't she meet the Dark Moon because of Snow Witch? No, she met the Dark Moon because of her mom. Right here. The moon was encountered by young Ranni, led by the hand of her mother, Rennala. What she beheld was cold, dark, and veiled in occult mystery. What the Snow Witch teaches her is to fear the Dark Moon. So Rennala introduces Ranni to the Dark Moon, but the Snowy Crone teaches Ranni things about the Dark Moon, particularly to fear it. What tradition could be passed down through generations of queens and princesses? See, this I would change. It's not generations of queens and princesses. This, I don't think the theorizing at the time, is really that bad because we didn't have Rellana, and I'm thinking princesses, there had to have been other princesses. But with Rellana, we know that it's like, okay, well, there's our 2 princesses. Like, you know, Rennala's the queen, Rellana's a princess, Ranni's a princess. What treasure could have been passed down? Dark Moon Ring. A wedding ring. A mother's wedding ring for her daughter, so that one day the consort who she would be wed to give. Imagery of the cold and dark moon, the moon veiled in occult mystery, and the symbol this cold oath represents, an oath of the Carian to the moon, an oath of the consort to the queen. The consort would not be left empty-handed. They would be bestowed with a legendary armament that would prove their loyalty to the truth of the Carian queens. Then we get the Dark Moon Greatsword. This one too, bestowed by a Carian queen upon her spouse to honor long-standing tradition. Now, this too, I wasn't thinking about cross-game theorizing yet. So I was thinking it has to be other queens before Rennala, because how can you have a long-standing tradition? But now that we do Dark Souls theorizing and Demon Souls and Bloodborne into the Elden Ring universe, long-standing tradition makes much more sense to me. And also Kingsfield as well. Also, I'm not reading the chat yet. We'll jump back in the chat in a moment. Less of a sword and more of a beam of light itself, a moonlight greatsword. When Rennala was married to Radagon, this tradition still stood, with the ring bestowed upon Rennala as a princess by her mother. She would also bestow a beam of light to her husband. So this is speculative territory, because I was assuming this long-standing tradition was something that was, what do you call it? How do you put this? Like something that was like there had to have been someone before there. Oh, what's up, Moxie? This isn't your video. You're not in the timeline yet. You don't come into the timeline until I think here. You don't come into the timeline until Mixtil's master plan. So you got a few videos. You can wait. All right. However, Radagon's loyalty was not with Rennala Darkmoon. This one and her Darkmoon. Yeah, this is wrong. So he reshaped her gift of light to represent his true master. Yeah, I wasn't really on the Radagon train yet. I was still kind of, I think I might have been a Radagon hater at this point. Something happened, though, that would break Rennala. The once proud and powerful queen of Caria of the full and dark moon would be reduced to nothing other than a cooing dove. Oh, how beautiful. The thing most dear to a mother would be taken away from her. The love of her life would slip from her grasp, never to return. The death of her daughter, the death of Lunar Princess Rani. The cycle was broken. The traditions were worthless. What is a mother if she loses her child? What is a queen if there is never a princess? The Carian royal line had ended with Rennala, and for Rennala, her world had ended. Muriel tells us that when Godfrey, first Elden Lord, was hounded from the lands between, Radagon left Rennala to return to the Erdtree capital. Rennala would have to be alone with her grief, a grief she could not share with her husband. Although Radagon was loyal to the Golden Order and was compelled to return to the capital, he had a gift for the grieving mother. Inside this amber egg was the great rune of the unborn. Radagon could not understand a mother's loss of losing the child they birthed into the world, so he gifted her the power of creation. If Rennala could not have her daughter back, she could make a new one. As long as the memory of love exists, grief can never go away. Only when memory fades, so too does the pain and joy with it. Rebirth is as sleep to them, and with each awakening, memory fades into oblivion. The law of aggression is the pull of meaning that all things yearn eternally converge. With causality, we can see that all things are a chain of relation, and with regression, we can see that all things yearn eternally converge. Regression can do one more thing, though. It reveals mimicry in all its forms. Not everything we are told is true. Not everything we see is real. Sometimes we need to look at the causality and use regression to find the truth. Did the most intelligent and powerful witch of all the land become reduced to nothing because a man walked out of her life? So I posit the question again. Why did the Carian queen grieve? Is your answer different than it was before? Thank you for reading. So I'll drop this in the chat if you want to read that later. So I made that Reddit post on Thursday, what is it? November 23rd? November 23rd, 2023. Then I was like, people are not understanding. Like I know this has to be right. I know this has to be right. So let me make a YouTube video because YouTube can get more people. But before I make the video, I got to explain how I see the world. And that came out December 7th. And then December 8th, my mother was visiting me and she said something to me that, yeah, I'll tell you what she said. She said, I gave her a glass of water, and she said that the water was slimy. And I thought, like, what do you mean water is slimy? I asked her, and she was like, well, you know, like, water's slimy. It doesn't feel good. I was like, what do you mean it doesn't feel good? Then she... You know, and she's like, you know, kind of like how, like, pillows are, like, prickly or something, or, like, you know, things like blankets hurt, and, like, the way that she was, like, describing sensations made me think, like, is my mom autistic? Like, the way that she is expressing how these things feel to her aren't, like, the way I feel things. And I felt terrible because earlier that day, I yelled at her because she asked me to move down to Georgia again. And I, like, had to keep reiterating, I'm not moving to Georgia. I'm not going to move. I'm never going to move. I'm not going to move down there. And then I, like, just started thinking, like, you know, do I make my mother cry? Because she just has difficulty, like, understanding like that I'm upset. Like I was so mad at her because I was like, how many times do I have to tell you and you don't understand? So then I felt like, okay, it must be my, like I was thinking it's my fault. She's like, it's not her fault that I was raised a certain way, you know, it must be something else. Or that I feel these things, or I get so upset, like it's, and then I was like getting upset by myself because I was making my mother sad. And then I go, and then I like I get these really intense feelings. I get these really intense feelings and I have to go to the bathroom and I gotta close the door. And it's just like, I feel like all this pressure on top of me. I show this in Mikkola's master plan at the end of chapter 3. I try to describe what that panic attack was. And then like, I let out this like silent scream, I'm like crying with no tears. It's like so intense. And it's like, I don't remember what happened afterwards, but I remember lying in bed that night afterwards. And I'm staring up at my ceiling and I start crying. And I say to my wife, Kristen, I think I was sexually abused as a child. And that was one day after I made this video. So I get that memory and I make this video. Why did the Carian Queen grieve? An Elden Ring story. What did she have to lose? So let's look at the video first because I changed things here. Season 1, Episode 1 of Jack is a Mimic. Do you really know what broke Rennala? Think again. Through the power of causality and regression, we will explore the rise and fall of the great and beautiful full moon witch. And I made this video and I was so proud of it. I was like, I don't know. I just like, this felt like such a massive accomplishment for me. Like, I'm trying to work through how I felt then because like my memories are just so bad, especially during that period. I felt like this was like monumental. I can't believe I made something like this. And then I don't know how I came across this. I think it was because I was watching Smowtown and I learned that his translator would live react to videos. And I was like, oh, sweet. I can show someone within the community my video and then like, I don't know, people will want to talk to me about Elden Ring because, you know, I'm coming with this new perspective that I haven't seen before. You know, no one's talking about the law of causality. No one's talking about the law of regression. Nobody's talking about the mimics or the silver tears and the larval tears. You know, no one in these videos is talking about A Song of Ice and Fire. You know, it doesn't seem like anyone's read George R. R. Martin. You know, maybe if someone who, you know, has connections in the community, someone who 24,000 subscribers at the time I made this video. I have 17,000 now, but then I had what, a few hundred. I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be so cool. Someone's going to watch my video and they're gonna, I don't know. They're just going to be cool. That's going to be, you know, maybe I'll get to talk to all these people. I'll get to share these ideas and we'll just have a lot of fun talking about Elden Ring. So he watches my video and we'll watch his reaction, but I want to show why I want to do this because this guy never apologized to me. Here's a message he sent me May 10th, 2024. This is Last Protagonist. His claim to fame is making translation videos for Bloodborne and then doing translations of Japanese to English for Smowtown. I'll say it to you directly here, not out of ill will, but out of concern and kindness in my own unique way by being as front as possible. One major concern I have with the way you approach the lore is that it seems as though you start with a conclusion and work to build into that conclusion and purposely ignore what might contradict those conclusions. To give concrete examples, I'll point to the Queen vs. Queens of Carian debacle, whether Ranni was an adopted child by Marika, and the issues of timing of Mikkola's birth. I don't really know what these mean. This one I know. The issues of, oh, this was when I used to theorize that Mikola was born, is the oldest demigod because he had... This was before I was doing time-traveling Mikola. This was when Gowry says that Melania was born during the Age of the Elden Ring and Queen Marika. And at that time, I thought Age of the Elden Ring meant Farum Azula because it had that Elden Ring in there, and not that it was the Age of Radagon. So I was putting it beforehand. In order to make Mikola a Machiavellian character, he had to be young, but incredibly old. So he had to be present before the other ones. Yeah, that's what I was doing. Thank you, Kate, for giving the context. I don't know what this one is. This is really why I want to bring this up. I actually think you do yourself and the lore community at large a disservice when you continue to blindly press on the way you have. I'm perfectly fine if people disagree with me about the lore and its timeline, but I care a great deal about the internal consistency of lore theories, and so far, your theories have not met my standards, and your behavior has remained largely the same in the face of such challenges, which is why my language reflected my frustrations. I don't want to continue challenging you if you don't actually want to be challenged, and I don't want you to bring down the vibe of your and Kitetail's server either. Oh, that's a future episode. So I'll probably be seeing myself out. I'm sorry I didn't realize you were fronting when you were inviting criticism on stream. That was my mistake. Best of luck, nonetheless. Peace. Forgot to press send before leaving. LOL, my fault. I was doing a joke character where I put on a crown and I said I was a horror Mimic Lou Laurier. And I was like, step into the crucible. We could duke it out. And that meant I was just joking. We could do a live stream and we could talk about it. But he comes into Discord and he just was being rude. I joined his Discord actually after he watched my video. And I felt like I got bullied in there. I'm not in there. Maybe I'll join again and I'll see what those messages look like. But just the fucking audacity to say that I do myself and the lore community at large a disservice when I continue to blindly press on. My name is fucking Jack is a Mimic. And if you have no idea what being a mimic is, then you're the one who is blind. They are made out of larval tears and silver tears. Couldn't you jump and figure out why my name was Jack as a Mimic? The first video you ever watched of me has Grieve in the title. I'm talking about sadness. I'm talking about so much internal turmoil. I don't expect you to know that I'm a survivor of child abuse. I don't expect you to know that. But I expected that someone who was so pronounced in the lore community would be able to deduce what a mimic was. I was trying to tell you all, I'm hurting, I'm in pain, I'm sad. I'm looking to express this pain and sadness through this piece of art that we all love, and so we can communicate with the symbols and the characters that we all understand. But no, I was pressing blindly forward. And he's perfectly fine if people disagree with him, but he cares a great deal about internal consistency of lore theories. Well, I can't wait to react to one of your videos and see how consistent those theories are. I really can't wait. One of my goals with this channel, and it's because of you, I really have to thank you for this. And this isn't about you. It's not about you. You are small potatoes. You're the last protagonist. I'm the new one. I don't know if you can see back there. Those are a bunch of long distance running medals. I'm a marathon runner. And when it comes to running the distance, it's about making it to the end. It's about going those 26.2 miles to get that medal. And what's the medal I want? I want my story to be Elden Ring's story. I want the story of someone who survived to be Elden Ring's story. Because that's what Elden Ring's story is. Every time it says you died, you get back up. Okay? Every time you want to change your build, you use a larval tear. I don't know if you could see my tattoo. The reason I have this tattoo is because I was going to put a blade of death in my arm, and I didn't. And I didn't know that until I played Elden Ring. And then when I tried to reach out and make friends, when I tried to be able to talk about this story with people who I thought cared about it, who I thought would be interested in my insight, not as a survivor, because I didn't make that public yet, but as someone who knew George R. R. Martin, who read all of Berserk, who've played all of the games that you played, I thought we could have been friends. Okay? But it's not what you wanted. My behavior has remained largely the same in the face of such challenges. Well, if you want to throw down the gauntlet now, we're streaming. If you want to take another time, you want to talk lore theories, if you want to bitch about me, go ahead. But if you don't want to bitch about me on live, you can bitch about me in your private Discords. LJP is Last Protagonist. Oh, goodness. Hey, where'd I get these screenshots? I'd better be careful if I were you, talking about people behind their back. They say Mikola became an omnipresent across timeline when he ascended yada yada. This is honestly very cool and interesting idea, but maybe not in the context of insisting he's the only correct person in Earth about it. They're talking about me. It is the way he says it that's irksome, because he comes across as extremely dismissive. I mean, hell, even just the video title and thumbnail gets across this attitude. And in the next one, for someone so certain that his own theories are correct and everyone else has it wrong, Jack has probably some of the most unhinged takes I've seen from Souls lore tubers. And he says them with like 200% certainty. Do you know why I say my theories with 200% certainty? Because they're right. In my very first video, what did I clock? What did I clock in my very first video? The spiral, right here. Let's go to causality is a spiral. My very first video, causality is a spiral. Way before Shoutout of the Urchin, way before everyone knew that the spiral was a big thing to be paying attention to, old Jack as a Mimic said, causality is a spiral. And if you want to know how to understand Elden Ring lore, you have to know the spiral. Wow, that's pretty good. I have so many more on my channel. So many more. I even accurately predicted that because of Radigan, thanks to Kate telling me about the never-ending story, which, one second. Thank you to my very good friend Kate for recommending me watch and listen to her. Right here. So, Hidetaka Miyazaki, we all know that Hidetaka Miyazaki is a huge, huge reader. And his big thing about, reading was he's like, oh, when I was a kid, I didn't speak English too well. So I had to use the pictures in the books to know what I was reading. And I was thinking, what books has pictures that he would need to read them? Well, Kate told me, you got to watch the Neverending Story because it's just like Elden Ring. There's Artax who goes in the Swamp of Sorrow, and there's Falcor, the Luck Dragon, who's like Torrent, and there's the Magic Mirror Gate, which is just like the Mimic Tier fight, and just so much more. In the book, The Neverending Story, every single chapter begins with a picture. Every single one of them. And do you know some of the things you can learn in The Neverending Story? Well, some of the characters in The Neverending Story are a lion, the many-colored death. What's his name? Garamic? I don't remember his name. I can't spell it. At the very end, there's a silver city that sits on a bed of tears. There is the old man in the mountain that he has to come across in. There is even 2 snakes, 2 serpents biting their own tails. Hey, this is Kath and what's his name? Frampt. This book came out when Miyazaki would have been, I think like 3 years old. So by the time he's a kid, maybe 10 years old, going to a library, he can... Actually, I think the movie came out when he was 10. I gotta check the dates. But this is perfect age for him to be reading this book. The best thing in this book, though, is Dame Aloy, which is a grandmother tree who births herself. And she... I don't know. Just read the book. We'll do a video on the future. Hey, LP, what's going on? And the last one from my friend LP. He peddles tinfoil and then acts like it's complete common sense and you're stupid for not thinking it. Also, the justifications are just really flimsy. Like, his whole basis for Mikola time traveling or whatever is just, that's what gods do. Like, according to what? According to A Song of Ice and Fire, according to Hidetaka Miyazaki, it's not, it's just like, I don't want to do this to you while you're here. Peer review in good faith. I don't want to do this to you here, but you really lay out your cards completely. He peddles tinfoil and then acts like it's complete common sense, and you're stupid for not thinking it. I don't think you're stupid. If you think that way, that's fine. The video, though, this is really important. The video he's responding to in those comments is this one. Where is it? This one right here. No one understands Elden Ring. Now, this is a clip from the Mimic commentary, and it was a parody video. I did a, you can hear it right here. This is supposed to be Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And the theory that we're talking about time traveling Mikola at the end is when I talk about how Elden Ring is about being able to talk to strangers on the internet, so we can talk about all of our favorite, fantasies and share this hobby. And the reason why I made this clickbait video with No One Understands Elden Ring is because a few weeks earlier than that, this video came out March 9th, and on February 28th, I made a video where I cry on camera and I talk about how I'm a survivor. And that's why I make videos. And so I thought, you know what? No one gave a shit about that I made that video. It didn't get to the people I thought I needed to hear it. And those are the people who made me feel terrible. So I made a clickbait video. And in that clickbait thumbnail, I put Reddit, Vadi, Smotown, Ziostorm, because I wanted them to see this video. I wanted them to know, how did Elden Ring save my life? And instead, you didn't care to watch that. You said that I peddle tinfoil and that I come across extremely dismissive and all of this nonsense. This shit isn't about Elden Ring, okay? It's not about Elden Ring. It's not. It's about what stories mean to people. And I don't know what your deal is. I know you don't make Elden Ring content anymore. I know Shadow of the Erdtree was really confusing to you, but it made a lot of sense to me, okay? It made a lot of sense to me. Because this is a story about survivorship, and it's a story about overcoming abuse. And that's my big theory. I know for a fact that Hidetaka Miyazaki had to have gone through such extreme trauma as a child, because nobody put so many references to Berserk in all of their media if they don't mean it. And if you've never read Berserk, it's not for the faint of heart. It's really not. It led me to being triggered. So I care a great deal about the integrity of lore theories, because after I gained my memories, Elden Ring lore and my abuse memories became enmeshed. If I get close to thinking about trauma, my brain immediately switches to Elden Ring, and I can't stop thinking about Elden Ring. I literally cannot. I try to write scripts. I haven't made a video with a script in so long, because when I start writing, and then I get to a point where I have to stop. I wanted to write about Alberich, but to talk about Alberich, I needed to talk about Moog and Morgott, because just where the script was going. But when you get to Moog has the Lord of Blood exaltation buff when there's blood loss, even if it's his own blood. And just like doing all the lore and writing, I was like, oh my god, Moog is self-harming. And that is just like, I thought that, and then I had nightmares. But then I kept writing. And I'm going to keep writing. Because I'm not going to stop. I know that some people think that to blindly press forward is not the way to do it. But at the beginning of the Mimic commentary, I chose the Prophet because I know I'm going in the right direction. So that's the background of everything. And that got me very hyped up, and it got me pretty emotional. So if you want to go bitch about me in any of your private Discords or your private phone calls or your lore streams, just know that I got problems, baby. But I don't fucking stop. Okay? It ain't about you. You're just a rock in the road. So just remember this little interaction. I know it's a little tiny stream on a little tiny YouTube channel. But that's only right now. Just you wait. Okay. Any questions? Sorry, I went a little tirade. I went on a little tirade. Happy we can have our friends join in. I'm looking forward to watching. I'm looking forward to what type of critique I got in this video. Where do I show up? Here we go. Because I haven't watched my video in a very long time. Okay. I did use this, though, for one of my videos.
There are different styles of music.
Okay.
But there's no reason to assume they can't
Thank you, everybody, for the hearts. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I'm so glad Moxie joined just because she wants to see, because she wants to see some things. Don't worry, Moxie. I have your DMs, too, and I know you apologized, but you still said really mean things about me. So, I don't know. I'll put them on the internet as well. Gosh. That was a lot. I need to relax. But it felt good, though. I needed to get that out there. This really has been like a big rock on my chest. It's really like, kind of just like, really been burdensome that I couldn't put it out in video. And I didn't want to make it I didn't want to put this in a scripted video because honestly, this type of behavior doesn't deserve it. It deserves only like a live stream. So, but we're in our villain era. We got the mask. Okay, so let's watch. Let's watch Last Protagonist react to why is Rennala depressed. Also, if any of you watch the Mimic commentary, whenever I talk about Gideon the All-Knowing and everything I have to say about Gideon the All-Knowing, the all-hearing brute who is slouched over his piles of paper, who doesn't go out into the world, who has other people bring information to him so he can call himself all-knowing. There's a reason why I don't like Gideon the All-Knowing so much. Yes, to react to the reactor is a cunning play indeed. What you just described is exactly the kind of things that keeps me, and I expect a lot of others from being creators. The way you get put down instead of built up by others who share a passion. Mirrorstream, I would hope that others lore folk dedicate their time watching any 5 episodes from the midpoint of your Mimic commentary. It's a better representation of what you do well. Oh, thank you, Mirrorstream. I've seen you post on Reddit a lot when I used to go on there, and my friend and moderator Justice Blade, he speaks very highly of your posts, and I've seen your posts, and they're really good. Can I speed it up to suffer? No, we have to. There's Kate, be nice. We don't have to do ad hom attacks. Okay, let me pause the music. And let's watch this.
Lore videos with Elden Ring lore. Why did the Carian Queen grieve by Jack as a Mimic, who has been in the chat a couple times and
I have been.
That I critique his video here.
Oh, you know what? I'm already turned off from watching this. I don't like its critique. That I guess I didn't know what I was getting myself into, because You know, we watched last stream Simon Ellipses video, and we were kind of just like, I was just joking around about the gay dragon stuff. His theorizing is really good. His methodology is good. I disagree with the conclusions. You know, obviously that would like, do you read Sutter Kane? I didn't like his conclusion, but I understood how he got his conclusion, and I think his theorizing is pretty good. But we were talking about his like the theorizing and like not saying like, oh, this is bad, but like, you know, my goal, if I was to seriously watch lore videos and react to them, it would be like, okay, what are the ideas that they're presenting, and what are the good ideas? What are the ideas that need work? You may want to 2x at some point. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I gotta see what it is. Yeah, a critique. I don't know, buddy.
My streamer killed me.
Oh, look, I had 300. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Oh my god, I had 317 subscribers, and I still had the little mimic icons before I started showing my face. Wow, I had 3K views in 9 days. That's so crazy. I got a screenshot of this. Actually, no, I downloaded this video because I was worried that he might hide it. Okay.
My streamer killed me. That's a pretty good clickbait thumbnail title right there.
I really love this shot. I love Rennala cradling the egg. Gosh, I love her so much. She's honestly like one of my favorite characters. I mean, obviously you could tell I got the moon there. I might cry watch this video. Oh, actually, I'm gonna cry. Sorry. I'm sorry, it's important for me to have this on video. If you feel uncomfortable watching me cry, it's okay to stop watching. It's just like this story just means so much to me, especially Rennala. All right. Mimic shed silver tears.
Law of causality. Causality is the pull between meanings, that which links all things in a chain of relation.
I'm doing my presenter voice. Okay, hearing my voice again, that felt good. I was having so much fun with it. Oh, this one too. Yeah, I had to frickin', because I play on PlayStation, so I was like, I have to get her, like, I don't have any other way to get the moon in this type of shot, so I had to get her to cast the moon spell and grab it with my telescope, and then I had to slow down the video and keep reversing it back and forth. Thank you all for the hearts. Thank you, Kate. Jack, what you do is beautiful. Being bullied by lore nerds, his own content is nothing more than Felicia is nothing as his voice. Because stop saying his voice is annoying. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice.
Chapter 1, The Great and Beautiful Full Moon Witch.
She is great and beautiful. I'm glad you agree, LP.
At the top of a hill in the eastern region of Liurnia lies a...
Gosh, I'm sorry, I have to pause. Hey, sup, kitten. The way that I write now is so different. You guys are like the next scripted video. You're gonna be blown away. You're gonna be blown away. I can't believe a lot has changed.
Dilapidated church. The passage of time has not been kind. Its walls crumbling and roof collapsed. This place has seen better days, and though its history may be forgotten by most, one occupant.
Yeah, this is like I think me trying to do like a Vadi impersonation.
I welcome you to the Church of
And in future videos, I would also recommend not doing the voiceover of a. Here's my critique. I would also recommend not doing a voiceover of the characters in game unless it's really important. Otherwise, just like have just recap what they say, because unless
so a little bit of a.
Oh, is he gonna say that? Because it's like if your audience already knows the game, then it's redundant. But also like it's a thing for people are gonna like, oh, I want a source. So keeping the source on screen is helpful too. But even then, you're still gonna get people who are gonna be like, you're wrong, even though they don't know what the text actually says.
Lore
what is it?
tip for a burgeoning creator would be to, and this is going to be a pain in the ass especially depending on how much you've gone through the game already. But when getting footage, it is a little bit nicer, not necessary, but nicer, to make sure that all of your sound effects and or background music is off, so that way you can get the unfiltered version of the dialogue without having to worry about different audio like cuts coming into it. And that way you can also layer in your own background soundtrack stuff in the background, obviously, and that can also help set
what's up, Colin?
videos, which
what's up, Slow Kane?
can be a good thing if you need to do it. And if you don't have background, it can also just be good to not have the sudden jumps in the audio to distract people. So that's not really a big thing, but since he's like trying to get new insights for like creating content, I will just try to give like this kind of more detailed feedback, which isn't necessarily lore stuff, so hopefully you guys don't mind too much. And then there's something else. Oh yeah, so this is going to be the most annoying thing about recording footage, especially as far as like audio stuff goes in a game, is if you have footage already, you can go back later and pan the audio to be a bit more centered in your editing software. But if you're getting new footage, one of the ways to make it sound a bit more professional is to take one part of the video, completely
4 times speed,
and then go back and save data, pop the NPC again, and then do more snapshots. And it's okay to do it. It doesn't take a lot of time. So just to give a bit of a visual to give you guys. I'll see what I did with Rennala. Okay, so
I agree.
For my thing, I have NPC Rennala, level dialogue, close up on the bad audio. So this is none more or less centered on the cameras.
Yeah, but I play on PlayStation. I'm not playing through the game over again with no audio turned on. Oh, geez, what the hell? I'll steal it from somebody. Okay. Okay, is he done? Okay. Oh, the good part's on. The good part's on. Oh, shit. Oh, wait. I hope I didn't break anything. Ah! Wait. The best part. The turtle.
All of us to lose sight of something very dear. It is here.
Okay, we know what Muriel says.
That the great houses
50 minutes? Jeez Louise. I don't want to still swing. Wait, what was I doing with this shot? Yeah, this is just a panning shot. That I also got much better at using relevant footage for the things that I'm saying. Like now I'm so much when I'm writing, I'm thinking about shots. And I'm thinking about shots from other games that could be used as double entendres. Bye, Brayart. Thank you for joining. Academy of Arlaria.
Those are some good transitions there.
Well, thank you. I think they were all right transitions. They're very boring though. It's not a very. This is a very slow burn video. Very slow burn. Beautiful full moon witch. Yeah. So like actually just like to give you like a difference. So I talked about like that Moog thing. So now I'm kind of really embracing my ADHD, where I am. The video starts with the one that I'm working on right now, and I am going to finish it because I figured out how I can finish videos again. So the video starts with the metaphor in our Discord. He asked, "Why does Alberich do a reverential bow?" And I was like, "Oh, because he's hearing voices." And so like. That one, I go all over the map with it because since he's a mad tongue Alberich, we have to talk about madness and frenzy and stuff. So like I'm just jumping from point to point to point to point to point to point to point. But every time I stop writing because it gets really hard, I start writing a Black Swordsman scene, and I start writing a Black Swordsman scene from that could work in multiple games. And so this video is is really difficult for me to write because of just like how scary the topics are. But I'm using the Black Swordsman as a character to, whenever I get scared about the things that'll come up, I write his story first, and then I write Elden Ring story with my story layered into it. So like one of them is like, I wrote a scene where he's traveling through, like he's trying to get through a swamp, and the swamp can be, the way that I wrote it switches between Valley of Defilement, it switches between Blighttown, it switches between Lake of Rot, it switches between the poison underneath the clinic in Bloodborne, for very specific reasons, because at the end of the Valley of Defilement, there is a maiden Astraea, who is described as a witch. At the end of Blighttown, there is Chaos Witch Quilag. At the end of Lake of Rot, we get to Ronnie the Witch. And at the end of the Poison Swamp under the clinic, we get to Imposter Yasefka, who is kind of witchy. She does a little bit of witchcraft, except hers is science, and then she gets a space baby. So I'm embracing the layered cycled storytelling of these games and using it as a way to, when I feel like I'm like, for this one in particular, I'm doing the rot analogy and the poison swamp analogy, because we stopped at the Lake of Rot in the Mimic commentary, and I feel like if I can get the Black Swordsman through these lakes of rot, I can get past this stagnation of these topics that I'm really afraid to talk about in Elden Ring because of what they mean for my personal story. And yeah, I'm really excited to continue writing that and working on it, but I'm doing it at my own pace, and I'm giving myself grace and knowing that when I create something, it's not just a Elden Ring, From Software, Dark Souls video. You know, it's a video with a lot of layered symbolism that has to do with my personal story and my survivorship and my life and things like that. So really excited to be doing that. And I'm really excited that this new phase is going to start with like the theme of the swordsman trying to get to the witch, because that's, you know, my first real lore video is the Great and Beautiful Full Moon Witch.
Rennala, the last queen of Caria, comes from a long tradition of Carian queens.
Yeah, see, this is like, we're going to say the same same stuff here. You know, but interesting, like this shot, I love this shot in the game, but I was only doing it because of the Stargazer runes. But what I love here is we get the dark moon pretending to be the full moon, and then we have the budding minor Erd tree, which is coming from the Halig tree, and it's shaped like the Godslayer Greatsword. Like this shot I would use to talk about something completely different than what I'm using for here.
But the first said to have been a young
I also disagree with the lore. We talked about the lore in the Reddit post.
The stars every step of her journey.
You know, it's interesting too. I haven't looked at the Stargazer in a long time. She's walking away from the moon. So it says that, like, what is that crescent moon that she's walking away from? And what is, oh, wait, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Oh, that's 6 pointed. So she's not chasing, what star is that? It's not the polar star. But yeah, it's interesting that she's going away from the crescent moon. So she's following the stars and she's led away from the crescent moon, but then she meets the full moon. That's interesting. Also, is that a fence? Is that an aqueduct? Is that a divine bridge? I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Met the full moon, and in time,
It's interesting that she's walking away from the moon, though.
Rennala, like the previous queens of Caria,
Yeah, we already did the lore for this one.
When she was young, but like no other queen before her, she was also a champion.
Oh yeah, a champion. Hit that. Wait. Hit.
Like no other queen before
Look at that.
She was also a champion.
Boom.
By force.
So that's
Okay, so this one too. Here, when I said like this is the fake, in case you were not, so this is the dark moon, disguised as the full moon. If you play through Liurnia, you'll notice that the moon actually changes behind the Erd tree. It changes between dark moon and full moon. Like it looks like it's going through lunar phases, but when you go in the mountaintops, it always has this look to it. However, we learn that this isn't actually the full moon because dark moons,
She
right?
was young.
And that, also, this is our moon too. This image, that's actually our moon,
But like
and this
the
is our moon as well.
Before her, she was also a champion. By
Okay,
force.
this too. So this, when we get to the moonlight altar, this is the real full moon because it's actually reflecting light beams. Dark moons don't cast light. So
She
So
That's
that's a
cool.
pretty big issue right there because it's pretty clear that Rennala was the first queen of Caria because she is.
yeah, see, this is where if I was going to do a critique instead of saying this is pretty, I would think like, okay, well, how is he coming to this conclusion? You know, let's be a little gracious here. It doesn't say Rennala, it's the legend of a queen, so I can understand where that's coming from. However, you're saying that it's multiple queens. You're going to have to provide more evidence for that, but we'll see where it goes to see how you can back that up. Maybe there's future evidence within the video that'll make that make sense. And then, oh, the Starlight and Three Sisters. It's not Starlight. It's this moon's light. This is the same moonlight. This is the moon at the Three Sisters by Ronnie's Rise. It's the light of the full moon. So Ronnie is told to fear the dark moon. Okay. And the dark moon is by the Erd Tree. So where is she getting her guidance from? Well, so I would say she's getting the guidance from her mother's moon. She's getting, even though her sigil is the dark moon, I think Ronnie is still getting her guidance from her mother's moon. And that's kind of like a bit of the mimicry being played because, you know, Ronnie's sigil is the dark moon. So why is she getting full moon stuff? Well, because I think there's more at play here than, you know, than with the dark moon than I want to talk about right now. What was I saying? Whatever he's going to say.
Is the one who bewitched the academy.
Yes.
And
Agree.
they are the ones who crowned her a queen. So you might be able to
Wrong. They didn't. How can an academy crown her queen? She crowns herself queen.
argue that the Carians as a family were royalty before Rennala went down to the academy, but I don't really think that pans out. I'm going to back up a little bit though.
Oh, well, I'm going to fast forward.
The greater lands between. Through wit, Rennala was able to attain the highest rank of headmaster at the Academy of Rock.
That's wrong. I said through wit, but it wasn't through wit. It's because she has a bewitching full moon. She's got Miquela's moon.
Lucaria by charming the Academy with her lunar magic.
Dark moon is still buffed by full moon buffing sorceries. Yeah, because it's, you know, it's a mimic moon. It's a moon. Isn't dark moon just the dark side of the moon? The side we can never see, and yet it's one and the same body. If you've listened to Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, you would know that there is no dark side of the moon. But in Elden Ring, there are 2 moons. There used to be 3 moons, but there's 2. Well, there used to be a third moon. Doesn't mean that there was 3 moons. I think it's always 2 moons. Black moon gets destroyed. Dark moon takes its place.
Through brain and brawn, Rennala was able to alter the history of Caria. No longer were they
The
just
Sword of
trolls.
Night.
They were now
Hey, this is from stream 2 years ago, so we're,
sorcerers.
you know,
and
things
she
change.
was of
I
the
don't really
highest
care about the
order.
lore theories here.
Rennala was wickedly intelligent, from her crown to her scepter.
What was he showing here? I gotta pay
Through
attention to.
Raya Lucaria by charming
Ooh,
the Academy with her
the
lunar
Ken
magic.
Burns effect here.
Through brain and brawn, Rennala was able to alter the history of Caria. No longer
Yeah,
were
see,
they just trolls.
I like
They were
here now I wouldn't be able to shut up about how this is like a sun realm castle. Like this video is 19 minutes long that I made. I don't know if I would be able to do that because there's just like so much more interesting things to talk about. Like I'm really just like doing a recap of things that everyone already knows. And oh my god, I'm just looking at her robes right here, and look, she's got the freaking flower right there on there, like that flower right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oh my god. Elden Ring lore theorizing is in like such a different place now than it was back then because these are the things that are jumping out to me now. And oh, this looks like a braided spiral. Oh my god, it's just like these are crescent moons. I guess together they make a full moon, a missing piece. Oh my god, it's just like crazy. This game is just too crazy. There's just too much to talk about.
sorcerers, and she was of the highest order.
And I only know that stuff because there's like so many great people. Honestly, there's so many great people in this community who show off like just show off so much of the magic of the storytelling.
Rennala was
Shout out Shout out to everyone in the Discord, obviously. Shout out to Way of Colors, who does really great pattern recognition. They're really good at pattern recognition. Obviously, Scunmage Info is really good at pattern recognition. And Metaphoric, I think, they're really good at pattern recognition. I'm not very good at the visual pattern recognition. I'm better at recognition of words, like pattern recognition in language. But thanks to people like this, I've gotten better at noticing pattern recognition. Like here too, in the Mimic commentary, when we go to Raya Lucaria, the light that's being casted on the moon, like this is the dark side of the moon. So you come into the debate parlor and you get to see the dark moon. But on this side, you get the light casting on it for the full moon. But the light coming through the window is coming from the Erd Tree. Oh my God, this scene is so cool. Like this video is like, this video could have, it'd be way different now. If I remade this video, it's going to be, and I might, it's going to be way different.
Rennala may have been the most intelligent person in all of the lands between.
Damn right.
All right, I'll be like blunt here. That's a little bit repetitive to me to like repeat it 3 times like that, essentially. But
I got to make sure you know it.
To a greater point, but that's just kind of when my patience starts to wane.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that your patience is waning, but the greater point was I was planning for this. You know, I was planting golden seeds through my garden, and I was just, you know, I was actually a Machiavellian mastermind, and I was looking for an antagonist the entire time. And since your name was Last Protagonist, I thought, oh, this would be perfect. 2 years from now, I will be able to have a video that talks about my first antagonist, and it will be the last protagonist. It'll be so poetic. Okay, let's keep going. Liurnian Wars.
The First Liurnian War. Radagon's glory burns red as his hair.
Oh yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. So this is in Liurnia, and this looks like the full moon, but if you watch, you know, Mimic commentary, show this off in the Liurnian saga, this switches back and forth between the full moon and the dark moon, even though it doesn't actually move. I'm gonna let this play. I'm gonna watch chat. I'm looking at you all now.
Question is that charm as impressed or charm as in magically influenced? Probably as impressed.
Oh, he's answering
or
a question.
Charm as in magically influenced. Probably the latter. I would need to double check the Japanese. I'm pretty sure it's just, you know, kind of like got that connotation.
Oh my God, you don't need to check the Japanese. Just look at the look at the bewitching branch. It tells you what it does. It tells you charm. You look at you. Beguile, charm, enchant, bewitching. They're all used interchangeably, just like just look at the items in the game. We don't need to check the Japanese. How does the moon change? I've never picked up anything. When you play through actually I let me check. I might have it on my channel. This is gonna be next stream. But let me see if I show it off in this video. I don't think I show it in this video. I have the footage. You can check on my channel. I don't remember where I show it. Oh, we don't need this one. Somewhere in the Mimic commentary, starting like around, I think by the Church of Vows, where Absolution, either this episode, or this episode, somewhere around here, I show that the dark moon is present behind the Erd Tree when you're in Liurnia. I guess it'll be nice now because Jack is looking. But also when you burn the Erd Tree, the dark moon is like always present in Liurnia. So once you burn the Erd Tree, it's always going to be the dark moon. What do we do with people who are always for the Japanese stream? I'm tired of people saying that. Oh, so this is here. The answer to that is why you talk when people bring up the Japanese translation. We go to the theorizing from this video to mimic a god. So Elden Ring is based off of the concept that two things can be true. I learned that in dialectical behavioral therapy. So in this video, I talk about how to the horn scent, God is a divine beast, a divine dancing lion that is puppeted by two people. And to the but when we get to the Erd Tree, when we go into the Erd Tree, we find Marika, who is God, and Marika is also Radigan, and the Elden Ring is in her, and inside the Elden Ring is actually the Elden Beast. So God is actually a divine beast that's inside of two people, which is kind of the same as the Hornsent believe God is a divine lion that's made up of two people. Well, that's also what Mikola and Radahn are. Radahn is Radahn's soul in Mohg's body, so he's a divine horned lion made up of two people with God on his shoulders. And then when you go to Farum Azula, Farum Azula Elden Ring, this thing, Farum Azula Elden Ring, Mikola. This looks like this. This looks like, you know, that. So it's what happens when someone brings up the Japanese translation, and you're like, you know, you're having a conversation. Well, it's like, well, the Japanese translation gives you different insight that the English doesn't. But the English also gives you a different insight that the Japanese doesn't. A really great example is the Italian. So the Italian version of Elden Ring, which is translated from the English version of Elden Ring, the Erd Tree is not called the Erd Tree. It's called the Mother Tree. And when we think of the mother, when we think of mothers, we think of like the connotation of like, what does it mean to be a mother? And what does it mean for the mother tree to not be producing sap? What does it mean for people to fight for the mother tree? What does it mean for, oh my God, the shadow of the mother tree? Like, you can come to the conclusion in English and Japanese that the Erd Tree is a mother tree. But in Italian, when you're in Italian playing this game, intuitively you were just thinking, oh, it's a mother tree. It is a mother tree, and all the connotation that a mother could have and a mother tree could have. So there's just there's value in both English and Japanese and Italian and Czechoslovakian and Russian and Polish and Spanish and every other language, because no one language owns the truth. Language is just the way that we try to explain what our inner world is and what that looks like to other people. It's why the Elden Ring is made of runes, and your whole goal for Elden Ring is to collect all the runes and then go to Elden Ring. Wait. The goal of Elden Ring is to go to the Elden Ring with all of your runes, and then you get to say what the order of the story is. That's the whole thing. So what is the order of the story? Well, it's whatever you want it to be. You're the person who controls the Elden Ring in the video game Elden Ring. It's kind of like being in the never-ending story, but, you know, the never-ending story. It's a very similar concept. So what does happen when someone brings up the Japanese? George R. R. Martin wrote the lore, and he only speaks English. So I don't know what to tell you. Give us the Elden Ring.
But it can be a little bit ambiguous. So
okay,
I think it's mostly magically influenced or impressed. Both.
You wish to know more of Lord Radagon. Lord Radagon.
Oh goodness, that cry got me tired.
He came to these lands at the head of a great golden host when he met Lady Rennala in battle.
Radagon, champion of the Erd Tree, marched with the might of the Golden Capital's best, but their sheer
Very
numbers
cool.
and strength.
Oh
were
crap,
no
you can see
match for
the
Carians
mountains
of
really
battle.
easily from there.
Numbering fewer than 20, the knights sworn to the Carian royalty wielded
Carian.
swords that could serve
Carian.
as catalysts,
Can't
letting
carry a
them
manor.
use sorcerous battle skills that mere
It's
physical
Carian
strength
manor, not
could
carry a
not
manor.
compare.
You're not you need more than
Carian
99
royal
strength to carry a
prestige
manor.
was embodied in the grandeur of the blades of their
goodness
magical
gracious.
great swords. Even in the face of insurmountable odds and the waves of invaders blessed by gold, the Carian knights never wavered. With cool minds and clear
Badass.
thoughts, they fought through sleepless nights and the madness of war. Lucidity was always a companion to the Carian loyal.
That's something I've always done in my writing.
Which
I
is
really
really interesting because
what I like to, you take the item descriptions and you think, okay, what are the items descriptions saying? So they would never, lucidity allows them to fight without having to sleep, and it also allows them to prevent like madness while fighting. But there's also probably other things to do with that as well. Anyway, I still write like that, but it's more off the
Like,
deep end
you
now.
really have a lot of madness or frenzy-inducing enemies in the game, which questions like why the Carians felt the need to develop countermeasures against it, or is it just obviously the presence of mind that guards against madness? It's very likely, but
Good question. That's a great question. We should explore that in the future.
The Carians did not just have knights in their employ, but also
Because if you want the truth, you're gonna go mad. Lucidity is just Adderall. I don't know. I've never had it. I've never had to take any like any type of like drug or whatever medication for stuff. It probably do me wonders, maybe something like that. But we take mental illness, neurodivergence. We go raw. We go raw with that. If you can't tell by the frickin' content I make in the yeah, see this too. I'd want to talk about Celia here because of the tower he's guarding, but instead I was just like, I need a shot of a troll knight.
Called into service when the queen invoked an oath they swore.
Yeah, I'm just recapping lore.
No matter the
Telescope.
Erdtree forces, even with the great champion Radigan at the helm, Carian.
I was not gonna say it, but all right, just to point it out, there was a little bit of a typo here. Instead of sword, you have sword with a D.
I still make
I'm
typos.
not sure. I need to look at the quote itself, but yeah, you deviated a little bit there, which is perfectly fine. That happens sometimes. I've certainly done it, but since I pointed out the one thing, it does make me wonder about the other though.
Fought arm in arm with their human comrades. No matter
I do
what
it on
the
purpose
Erdtree
now.
forces,
They're all
even
on
with the
purpose.
Great champion Radigan at the helm, Carian and her loyal allies would not falter and would not break. Thus did the wars continue.
Chapter 3, The Traditions of Queens. And I think I forgot to read Chapter 2. Anyway, Okiman, welcome back to the stream. You think the idea that you don't find many frenzy madness victims in their ring? Or my...
Damn.
Eyes but atonement, the birth of vow.
Lord Radigan was a great champion, possessed of flowing
Yeah, see this too. Like at the time when I was doing this theorizing, I wasn't even thinking about like Radigan has his totality statue within Rennala's library, so that means this statue had to have been erected here, you know, after he's Elden Lord, and also I'm raw god talking my also after, for my theorizing, after he learns that he is Marika. Oh, I dropped my pen. And that's really significant that that statue's in there, but in the Mimic commentary we won't be able to talk about that until we get to the capital, because that's a huge reveal of when these statues were made.
possessed of flowing red locks. He came to these lands at the head
Oh, I'm glad that you went to C's to straight A's. In third grade, I got abused by my neighbor. And then in fourth grade, I cried in front of the class and said, nobody likes me. And my teacher, I guess, didn't tell my parents, because that would be really concerning. We should probably figure out, why is our child crying in class and thinking nobody likes them.
Even the most obstinate enemy can one
And
day
it, you know, tracks
boast
to the
of
type of behavior that
At least,
we're seeing right
that is
now.
what Rennala believed. Whether what happened next was born of love or of political ambition is not known. But what is known is that it was a miracle.
Do you sense any celestial dew?
We keep it real
I
here.
think Abraham Lincoln said...
I don't give a shit about Abraham Lincoln. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Cleansed himself with celestial dew, repented his territorial aggressions, and swore his love
Nah, I'm good.
to Rennala. The order
Kristen will be home in like half hour, an hour. I can hug my wife when she gets home.
and all the wounds of war forgiven.
If the Erdtree was to make amends for their transgressions,
Damn, that's a
they
beautiful
would need to
shot.
offer
Is that in the
something
academy?
in return for peace.
Is that outside the
In
academy?
return, they offered a marriage between champion and champion. Thus, the Carians could reign independently. over
Honestly,
their
I'm very
vassals
bored by my own
I
video.
like
It's not
that- I
keeping
like
my
that
attention.
little, CC, the Karens could reign independently over their managers.
and champion.
Kara, what's
Thus,
wrong?
The Carians could reign independently over their vassals with no fear of aggression from their eastern neighbor. And the Erdtree
Yeah, I was
Empire
thinking
now
politically
had
minded
safe
here.
passage
Politically
to the
minded
south,
here.
was able
Yes,
to
yes,
march
yes, yes, yes. This one's good. This one's so good. I was thinking like you need. Oh, Kyra's getting excited. Kyra, come here. Come here, puppy. I was thinking like, oh my god, this is so great, because this is how you get the like through the south for the southern lands, because there's that big gap in the middle. So like the Carians controlling the academy is an issue for Leyndell, because now Leyndell is separated from Limgrave. So we need to be able to reunite the the north and south of the empire because there's this new queen in between us and the major roadway is blocked off. Oh, thank you. This is this necklace is actually an urn. It's an urn with my cat Luna's ashes. She passed away last January, and so I keep her on the windowsill in my altar on top of her. So I carry a bit of her ashes with me all the time, but at home I keep the ashes on my windowsill, and on it I have dragonstone for power, amethyst for purity, lapis lazuli for wisdom, and another amethyst for purity. So, and I keep them, I kind of do like, wow, oh goodness, I'm dropping my gems. So each, and then I also keep my my grandfather's gold chain across it because I like for her to get moonlight and sunlight because she used to love sleeping in the window. And so I put let's see if I could show you. So each night before bed, I set up her ashes like this, where I put my wedding ring in the center, and then a friendship bracelet that Kristen and I have around my wedding ring, and then my golden bracelet that sometimes I wear. And it just helps me, like doing this ritual every night helps me think about my cat Luna. It helps me think about like the significance of my marriage and the significance of the friendship that Kristen and I have. And like, it makes me, like, gems and crystals don't have, yeah, I know I have to wash them now. But I also have candles that I light to cleanse. It helps me think about the ritual I do and what my ring and my bracelet mean to me. If the bracelet, I've broken a lot of friendship bracelets, so I make new ones, but it helps me like when I wear this ring, like really know like how much significance I put into it. And it's a tungsten ring, so it's very heavy, and I not having that weight on my hand feels weird. But it's a ring that's full of pure wisdom and pure power. And not pure power like unadulterated power, but power that is pure. Anyway, that's a little bit of me.
On the fringe lands unabated.
So I'm telling you, you come challenge me. I got witchcraft. I light my black candles. My candle is kind of low, though. I gotta replace it. You hear that, antagonists? Don't fuck with the witches.
Union would result in 3 children.
Hit you with an Etsy spell.
General Radon, Praetor Rykard,
Oh, sweet.
and Lunar Princess Ronnie, as well as their stepbrother from their father's side, Blythe.
Yeah.
Their
Because there's 4
stepbrother from their father's
bassinets.
side, Blythe, the half-wolf.
And from their father's side. I think that was when I was theorizing that Blythe is Malekith's son, and if Radigan is Marika, and Marika is brothers to Malekith. I don't know. I could do another tarot reading at the end. I can't show the bottom of the screen though. You know, we'll do a tarot reading before we react to LP's video, because the tarot will tell how us will react.
Love knows no bounds. While
Yeah, this
Rennala
is
loved
witchcraft
all
crap.
of her children, her love for Ronnie was special.
Kate, 2025 was a
She
crazy year
more
for
than
me. A
just her
lot
daughter.
changed.
She was a Carian princess, and one day would become queen. She would have to follow in her mother's footsteps, rule the Carian royal house, and follow Carian
No, this
traditions.
necklace has
When Ronnie
power.
was young, she was led by the hand of her mother, like Rennala's mother led her to meet her moon.
Yeah, see, I don't agree with that anymore. I don't think her mother led her to the moon. Too much mimic theorizing
She
up there.
beheld was cold, dark, and veiled in occult mystery.
See, look, this is the color. This is the color of the dark moon right here. This one is in this is in Caelid, but when you go through Liurnia, next time you play through Liurnia, pay attention. You will see this in Liurnia behind the Erd Tree.
Indeed, for to the world, the Carians and their queens were adherents to the full moon. Sorcerous pilgrims would make their way.
Yeah, so this one too, this is really important. I still use this evidence. So you get the Great Hood from doing the Castle Soul. So think about this. You get the painting at Castle Soul, and then you get to the painter and you get the Great Hood. And the Great Hood is a hood far larger than the head. It is meant to cover a burial shroud of sorts for those who discover the truth they sought. Okay, so this guy, he can die knowing that he had the truth that he sought. It increases intelligence and faith, but a detriment to health because he's going to die. Yes, surely this is the moon that young Rennala gazed upon. So this guy is saying it because he believes it. He's saying he believes it, but who wears this hood in game? Well, it's worn by what's the dude's name? Crap, I'm forgetting his name. The dude in the catacombs by Moog, with the two dogs, but he's with Moog the Omen. But Moog the Omen is a illusion created by Morgoth. So the dude, and he drops the Lord of Blood's exaltation. So this dude thinks he found the truth that he discovered. But he's hanging out with fake Moog. So this person is looking at a moon and they're like, yes, surely the young Rennala gazed upon. This is the moon Rennala gazed upon. It's like that dude in the catacombs going, yes, this is Moog. Obviously, he's underground. It's dirty down here. There's some blood. It must be Moog. Blood Guy Dogman. Yeah, Blood Guy Dogman. I don't remember his name. Garius is the name that's coming up, but that's the Necromancer. So yeah, this too, it comes from Castle Soul and Asgar. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It comes from Castle Soul, and Castle Soul is the castle, with the eclipse. And what is the eclipse? Eclipse is the sun and the moon going in front of each other, and the moon becomes a dark moon. When the moon is in front of the sun, it becomes black, it becomes dark. So this one, it's like, this one is telling you, like, this is like the smoking gun, one of the smoking guns for the evidence that this moon that we're looking at is not the full moon. It's really the dark moon in disguise because of, the Great Hood connection. So this is one of the earliest pieces of like evidence that I use that I think is like really strong. And I'm really proud of picking up that kind of like that thing they were doing there. I've gotten better at it since then, but this is a really good early piece of evidence that I love.
To the mountaintops to behold the moon that they thought young Rennala gazed upon. Yet
Here, look at that face register. So you'll see this in
young Rennala gazed upon. Yet
you'll see that in Liurnia. Now this things I'm saying here really speculative, very speculative. I now in my current writing, there's a lot less speculation. There's a lot of speculation in this video.
In the Grand Library
here we're getting to the good stuff.
There is a locked chest that is passed down to Carian princesses.
Carian.
A wedding ring. A mother's wedding ring for her
daughter. Oh, jeez. You can actually hear it in my voice. My voice is cracking here. It's getting me sad. Listen to the voice.
Passed down to Carian princesses. Inside, a wedding ring. A mother's wedding ring for her daughter.
Yeah, like I'm trying not to cry while reading that. And like that just like is like early Jack as a Mimic is just like there's so much of me holding back tears and like not knowing that I like what's making me cry, because I don't think at this point I knew about my self-harm attempts. I don't think I knew about my self-harm attempts at this part. I think I just knew about the inkling of one instance of abuse. Currently, so at this moment in time, I thought, oh, there's a shit ton of lilies on this, aren't there? Damn, I can't wait to get that in the Mimic commentary. Back then, before I made the theory, but when I made this video, I knew of one abuser. But now, thanks to a lot of therapy and thanks to a lot of dream work I do, I got 4.
Hidden in a locked chest that has been passed down from many queens to many princesses, so that one day the
we talked about this earlier.
Could give, and one day this ring would pass from Rennala to Ranni.
like this video, it doesn't suffer from it, but it's really you can tell it's pre-Shadow of the Erdtree. Like not having Rennala, like really affected my theorizing. If I had Rennala, this would be way different. Way different. Rennala really shakes up the game, and she doesn't get the respect she deserves.
Veiled in occult mystery.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to pause it.
And the symbol of a
Yeah, while that talks, I'm gonna put my stuff back on the shelf.
an oath of the queen to the dark moon, an oath of consort to the queen. When Radagon wed Rennala, she gave him this ring so that he may bestow it on her finger, and to honor long-standing tradition, the Carian queen would gift her consort with a legendary armament.
Let me back that up.
Consort to the queen. To the dark moon, an oath of consort to the queen. When Radagon wed Rennala, she gave him this ring so that he may bestow.
Oh, okay. I just misheard. I thought he said it the other way around. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, we're good.
Bestow it on her finger, and to honor long-standing tradition, the Carian queen would gift her consort with a legendary armament.
The game case fell. I gotta like
Less of a sword,
back
and
to,
more of a beam of light itself, a moonlight
I'll get it
greatsword,
later.
a guide.
This is Ludwig's music, by the way.
However, Radagon's loyalty would not always be to the cold and dark, and he would reshape this gift later in his life.
Jack is a sweet guy. Let's just let him
tenets
cook.
of his true master. This blade
He's got
of the
that
dark
dog in him,
moon
but he's nice.
would become a golden orb
He's nice when you get to
greatsword,
know him.
made of light.
He could be a good
modeled
friend.
After the Elden Ring itself.
By the way, I will be LP's friend if he apologizes
All
to
was
me.
well for Caria and her queen.
If he said sorry to me, I'd be nice to him. Damn, loss.
Is this loss?
Something would happen though that would break Rennala.
Yeah, funny joke.
The once great and beautiful Queen of the Full Moon would only feel
Gwendolyn's
cold,
music.
dark, and alone. On a
Oh
night
my
of
God.
something would happen though that would break Rennala.
Listen to that.
The once great and beautiful Queen of the Full Moon would only feel cold, dark, and alone. On a night of wintry fog, the rune of death was stolen, and the demigods began to fall, starting with Godwyn the Golden. The lands between were shook by the death of a scion of the Golden Bough, but another child perished that night as well. The thing most dear to a mother would be taken away
listen.
from her.
Listen to my voice.
The love of her life would slip from her grasp, never to return.
Man, gosh, I really like... I'm going to talk about myself in like the third person here, but I really feel bad for like... I want to say this kid. I guess, yeah, it is the kid, little Jack. Gosh, to like... He didn't know how strong he was.
The death of
All right, that was a little bit ridiculously loud in comparison to the rest of your volume. So,
Come on, bro.
Anyway, Okiman said it's a real.
Bro, I freaking... Bro, I say that Rennala is in her state because her daughter died, and the first thing you say is, volume's too loud? Come on, bro. So unserious, bro.
Move on Radagon's part to mod his engagement present.
Oh.
Yeah, most certainly. And a lot of people don't really like that guy. The more you hear about him, the more he sounds like a jerk. You know?
No, Radagon is the hero, buddy.
So Yada said, "You're more thinking that Rennala's mere existence is in opposition."
Hey, Yada, I don't care. If I wanted to hear good lore analysis, I'd watch my own videos.
The cycle was broken. The traditions were.
I told you.
What is a mother if she loses her child? What makes it broken?
Oh.
The death of Rennala's only daughter.
Let's see how 2023 Jack said this.
The cycle was broken. The traditions were worthless. What is a mother if she loses her child? What makes a queen if there is no princess? The Carian royal line would end with Rennala.
Carian.
But for Rennala, her world had ended. The beautiful full moon witch had waned. Her night sky was empty, and the morning would never come again. She had not lost just her...
I would have changed that. Instead of saying the morning would never come again, I'd say she would live in a morning that would never end because she is mourning her daughter. But I was trying to say, what do you call it? What is it called? Oh God, I just blanked. Oh, because of the double entendre for mourning, like she's in mourning. Hey man, I'm back. Listen to the beginning of the video. Catch up. First, sincere apology. I felt bullied in my server. That's truly not the vibe I want in my space. I stand by everything else, though. Okay. Bro, you are so unserious. Like, I don't want to hash out theories, bro. I don't need you to hash out theories. Oh my god, bro. Come on, man. Did you listen to the rest? Like, does it not? It's not clocking? Standing on business, not clocking? Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, bro.
Daughter.
Goodness
with her
gracious.
future, her hopes, and her dreams.
Goodness gracious. Oh, I missed them, not LJP. Hey, here's something cool. You know, I don't need to hash out theories because I found the notebook from Bloodborne. This notebook actually has all of the secret lore within Bloodborne. But only have the key. So you want to hash out theories with me. You gotta ask nicely. Well, LP, since you're back here, I just want to let you know that I was in a very vulnerable state when you watched my video and when I joined your Discord and when you sent me that message. And it really, 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 really hurt me. And yeah, you know, you don't know who you're talking to on the internet. And it's good to try to be gentle with them. And for you, I don't know who you are either. You might be going through something too, and that's why you act the way that you do. And I only wish you the best of luck. I wish you all the best of luck. Yeah, Kate, be kind. Don't fight. But we got to go back in time. We got to go back in time. Mikkela's the time traveler, and we got to do this. We got to. The spiral overlaps. We got to watch it.
Last couple lines there, I feel were a little bit more speculative than the rest of the video, which
Come on.
can be fine. Like I feel like those readings are certainly plausible.
Bro, did the emotion? Oh my god. Oh, this is frustrating. It's so frustrating. She lost her daughter. You lost her daughter.
One's individual interpretation of the state of Rennala's mind during and throughout the entire Shattering War, because
LP, I accept your apology. When I read the tarot for when I react to your video, I'll make sure I read them with kindness.
We're told Ranni learned her dark magic in her youth and not so much like later on. So there's a good chance that Rennala...
You know, when I bought my tarot deck, it came with this, I bought this, it was because there was a crow on my doorstep. And I was like, you know what, let me go buy a tarot deck because there's a crow there and crows are magic. And I bought this coin with the tarot deck, and I didn't read what was on the back. Not all is what it seems. Magic and shape-shifting's around you. Let's get the shuffling going.
Hasn't exactly been with it for a very, very long time, and she might not have
I approach the lore with as much accuracy as possible as someone who has played, gosh, so many of Miyazaki's games, including Deracine. If you want to become a member of my channel and watch the full playthrough of Deracine, I would recommend that. If you want to join the Discord or join the Kingsfield Book Club, so far we've already played Kingsfield 1. Next game will be Kingsfield 2. I will share everything so you'll be able to play that. Read mostly everything from George R. R. Martin if that's something interests you. And also lived the experience that Guts experiences through Berserk. So I have a pretty keen idea on what's going on in these games. Also accurate predictions. So if you're interested in someone who has prophetic readings for Elden Ring to be able to accurately predict things before they come out in the game,
it is described as a shard of the Elden Ring.
like my favorite one recently is when I used when I said that Mikkela was able to time, like the time travel theories was about the flashes of white light, and then Night Rain has flashes of white light to show that the loop is getting reset. That one was pretty sick. That one was awesome. Oh, and then the Duchess and Wilder just like being a time loop. That one's sick too. But we haven't made that video yet.
In the beginning, you don't need to go to a divine tower or anything like that. Could Ronnie's fingers have been that one?
I'm not. I'm just. Fingers? I'm only reacting to one video.
Yeah.
You didn't, LP. You didn't hear You didn't hear the beginning. Here, wait. You didn't hear the beginning. Let me add my... Here, wait. Let me switch. You gotta listen to the intro, buddy.
Imagine, if you will, a monster.
That's right.
Not one with horns or sharp teeth, but one with the ability to compel the affection of those around him. Imagine, if you will, a monster. Turned into the smiling, vacant thing you're looking at now. Imagine, a monster. To do as he pleases, a monster.
Ooh.
Imagine.
That's not a good one.
Pleases,
Actually, if it's upside down, it's pretty good.
a monster.
Oh, wait. It's not. This, you got 9 of swords. That's not good. Okay. What's your next card? 7 of Pentacles. Reversed. And the last one. Ooh. Not bad, actually. LP, you got a pretty good tarot pull. Here, let's do the tarot reading right now. Okay, so we got 9 of swords. Let me figure out a way to... Can I don't know how to... I don't have the desk cam anymore. So, here, let's go back to... Okay, let's go back to Safari Capture. So we have... Here, we'll do... We'll see how the rest of this continues. What was I on? Let's do Stay Golden. No, let's do a Broken Record. For your tarot reading. All right, LP, you're getting your tarot read. And the question I was thinking in my mind is, how am I going to treat last protagonist moving forward? So we got 9 of swords. So we're just going to put on the screen so you could see this. So this is our 9 of swords. Now, let me get my... I'm not very... We're going to be doing a folklore spread. So the first one is the conflict. The issues going on in your life. So we got 9 of swords. And this 9 of swords, if we look at the card, it is a person trying to sleep, and these kind of like white, colorless pixies are harassing them in their dreams. Also, interesting thing about this card, I use a Fairy Tale Tarot. It came out in 2019, I think. I like the red blanket. I think this is... Oh, chat's in the way? What's in the way? In the way? Oh, the image here. This image. Oh, okay, I understand. Here. This one. Okay. So, I'm going to use the Fairy Tale Tarot. This is not your typical tarot deck. So, the 9 of swords, and I'm still learning this one. So, this is upright. Our conflict is anxiety, nightmares, and despair. That is me to a T. Alps are small, malevolent house spirits who enjoy tormenting people, causing anxiety and loss of sleep. Yes, you know what? Honestly, LP's treatment of me during that phase of my life really added to despair and anxiety. That is pretty good for a conflict. But then our next one, number 2, we got reverse 7 of Pentacles. So let's do 7 of Pentacles. Now let's pop this puppy open. Okay. So in my Seven of Pentacles, we see, we see the farmer farming the pentacles, but it looks like kind of like little elf sprites, little mischievous creatures within the garden with the gardener. But we got reversed. So in the folklore spread, the second one is the magic. So this is what resources or guidance are available to you for that you may not be seeing. So there's something in this card. If there's something in this card, this is what's going to reach to... The start is good. I think this one's pretty accurate. Anxiety, nightmares, and despair for how I was first treated. That seems accurate to me. Now, what is the magic that will get us to our end? So this is Seven of Pentacles reversed. So Seven of Pentacles reversed is shortage, impatience, and poor investment. Oof. So this is the magic we have to look at. Little elves nurture and monitor the growth of vegetables in a person's yard. Oh, a gardener. So planting golden seeds. Elden Ring. Okay. They symbolize patience and long-term cultivations as they tend to the forest, waiting for the fruits of their care and labor to reach maturity. So the magic here is the impatience. And I was really impatient. Like, I just wanted to rip this Band-Aid off and just, like, jump into a live stream to be able to get all of this. During this, LP is here. He's chatting. He's not being combative. So my impatience is leading to one of my favorite cards. This is like my favorite cards. Let me pull you up something. In our last tarot reading, we got this card as well. And can I open? Our moderator and our channel artist, Safely Shadow, she made fan art for my Ace of Wands. And aren't these guys really cute? So we're going to have these up for the Ace of Wands. So this is the Ace of Wands. This is a fire salamander. And this one is transformation. I already know what this one is, but let me just get it. And he's our little Radigan character. So Wands is here. Okay. Upright, wealth, abundance, prosperity. Tiny... Oh, wait. That's Ace of Pentacles. Wrong one. Not wealth. It's transformation. Sorry. Ace of Wands. Okay. Inspiration, spark, and potential. The fire salamander symbolizes transformation, resilience, and the ability to endure and emerge stronger from adversity. It represents the mystical connection between life and the element of fire. This is Radigan to a T. So, this, I think, because of how LP acted in the past, because of how he treated me when I first started making videos and started, trying to be public with my opinions and the things that he sent me later, all of those things, they were difficult to deal with them, but because of them, it has led to inspiration. It has led to a spark. It has let me feel my potential. There's a line from Windmills. You're listening to their instrumental in the background. And he talks about how, there's a line where he talks about, this other guy used to say he would lift weights against me in his head. And he's like, and what is this guy used to lift weights against me in his head, and then I was his friend. So, yeah, maybe I should be thanking LP because of how he acted, because it really gave me that, someone saw what I made or someone heard what I had to say, and they told me I was wrong. And that made me think, no, I'm not wrong. I am right. I know I'm right. And I'm going to prove I'm right. I'm going to propel forward. So, how could I be mad? How could I be mad at the person who really motivated me? So, LP, I accept your apology. We don't have to agree on everything. We don't have to agree on anything. But as long as you know my name and you remember my story, it's all that matters. And you're lucky. LP, you're lucky because now you are part of my never-ending story. And people in my never-ending story, they'll find the benefit in the end. So the tarot poll was pretty good for you. The tarot poll was pretty good for you. You got a good one. You got a pretty good one. Okay. Let's, got a pretty good one.
Cantrell says he sure is reading into it about being...
All right, current LP, present LP, bridge mended. Current LP, I extend a hand in friendship. But past LP, this one, not my friend. This one right here, not my friend. Current one, we could be friends. That's up to you, though. You decide.
Ronnie, when the game says she was depressed over the jerk leaving her. Maybe, yeah. True Connoisseur says, interesting that the description of the Great Rune of the Unborn specifies that it's specifically the Great Rune of Unborn Demigods. Yes, and it does use like demigod or demigod in Japanese as well, which is very interesting. Interesting. I'll just keep saying interesting.
It is interesting.
Was hounded from the lands between. Radigan left Rennala to return to the Erd Tree capital.
Strength through adversity. I don't know. My brain is like getting fried. This is very emotionally taxing for me. I'm gonna have to like. I have to like be really careful tomorrow because I'm gonna be very vulnerable for like the next 24 or 48 hours. But we do it.
Rennala would have to be alone with her grief, a grief she could not share with her husband. Although Radigan was loyal to the Golden Order and was compelled to return to the capital,
Disagree with this.
he
No.
was still the father of Ronnie and
Agree with
husband
that.
to Rennala.
Agree with that. He
No
still loved
matter
her.
Where his true loyalties lied, and no matter the
Golden
oaths he
barrier.
would break, he could not bear to see the love of his life in such pain.
Good.
He would still attempt to protect her heart in his absence. He would always try to mend what was broken.
Gosh, I'm so happy that I made Radigan still love Rennala way back then. So happy.
He would also leave behind a
So I feel like those claims are very unsubstantiated. So I think there needs to be more to support those.
He gave her Golden Barrier. There's right here, Golden Barrier. Barrier Gold.
her heart in his
And he gives her the egg.
He would always try to mend.
Oh my god, I'm getting tired. I've been standing this whole time too.
So I feel like those claims are very unsubstantiated. So I think there needs to be more to support those.
Kristen's gonna get home from work soon, and we'll go for a walk. I might play Slay the Spire later. I'll see what she wants to do.
One that might help ease the pain.
If she goes to bed, I think she works tomorrow. If she goes to bed early, I might play. But I might need to go to bed too. I have a jujitsu in the morning.
And that's a very common reading of things, which isn't actually explicit. And I'll move the text up here so that we can actually see what Muriel says, and I'll back it up as well.
Help ease the pain.
So many people believe that Radigan left Rennala the egg when he left, although nothing actually says it quite that way as far as I'm
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, I don't know what I was theorizing then, but I currently theorize that Radigan, this is thanks to T-Bone in the Discord, that Radigan gives the amber egg to Rennala when they get married because it is a gift from America, as like, hey, you know, you're getting married, you're gonna have a husband. Here is to wish you many children, and then they, thinking about the Targaryens. If you read Fire and Blood, they would put dragon, or maybe it's in the other books too. They put dragon eggs in the bassinets of the Targaryen babies. And if you watch Preston Jacobs' old Genetics of Dragons videos, he talks about how, which is very inspirational to my theorizing. He talks about how we can map the genetics of dragon hatchers and dragon riders. So by putting a dragon egg in the bassinet of Targaryens, it would hope that they would the dragon egg and the child would they would have that symbiotic mental relationship. And for me, I like Radigan giving her the egg at the start of the marriage. So when they put as a gift from America to say, hey, went from one queen to another. Hey, what's up, Strix? With the amber egg, not only is the Great Rune of the Unborn in there, but so is Radahn's Great Rune and Reitgard's Great Rune, and maybe Ronnie's Great Rune, but I'm still kind of iffy on if she actually has a Great Rune. So Great Runes are plucked from the Elden Ring, and then when Radigan and Rennala have children, the Great Runes can be transferred into their children because the egg is with them in their bassinets with their babies. So then the Great Runes can affect them later in their life, and then that when the Elden Ring is shattered and they get rune arcs, then they will turn into these gross monsters. Because Martin wrote them as more human. So we need, how do they become monstrous? But we also need to ensure that like things like Radon being too big for his horse happens. Like, how do we ensure Radon is too big for his horse? Well, he needs to have the Great Rune that makes everything bigger, but it can't like make him too big. So he's only going to get a little bit bigger because it doesn't have the rune arc. And then once he gets the rune arc, he gets massive. So that's Great Runes at birth. And that's how we can move the Great Runes from the Elden Ring to the Carians as Radagon, with Radagon as Marika, without Radagon or Rennala knowing through the egg. So that's how I put it. And you ain't gonna get me to budge on that theorizing because it's too damn slick.
Because of the
that's
way
Martin.
the
That's Martin
sentence
to a
is
T.
written, and this isn't exactly like an English thing. It
Okay, I'm
can
gonna
make
speed
sound
you up.
as though she was left cradling the amber egg that Radagon bequeathed her when he left, but it's
Yes.
vague about when he gave it to her, because he could have given it to her like when they got married, when they first met. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
Anytime
agree.
in the past, and he's still able to leave, and that kind of relationship is just open to interpretation because we don't know when she actually got the egg. She could have just been holding it as he left.
Perfect. That's excellent theorizing. Great speculation.
All right, it looks like ads are gonna play shortly too.
You gotta get premium, bro. No ads. Become a member. No ads. LP, become a member. Watch my behind the scenes videos.
An egg of amber was left.
Watch me play Deracine. It'll blow your mind. If you don't believe in if you don't believe in time travel and Mikola, Deracine will convince you.
Again and again. Inside this amber egg was a piece of the Elden Ring itself, the great rune of the unborn. With the power of creation, she could bear new children.
I think I can turn off the content warning. I don't think we're going to talk about anything more triggering.
And again and again. But these children born anew are all frail and short-lived. Imperfect beings, each and all.
And so this makes it sound as though Rennala's frail-born children were a post-shattering event, although the game doesn't quite frame it that way. That doesn't mean that this is necessarily wrong. It's just one of those things where we lack sufficient information.
I would put it. I would say that Rennala does not start birthing children until Radagon reaches totality. So he needs to learn that he is Marika, and he needs to start planting golden seeds for the Tarnished to find. So she can't start doing that until she knows she can do that. And for her to know that she can do that, Radagon needs to tell her that the Great Rune is there. And for Radagon to tell her that the Great Rune is there, he has to know that the Great Rune is there. And for Radagon to know that the Great Rune is there, he has to know that he's Marika. And
As the memory of love exists,
I don't think he knows he's
never go
Marika.
away. Only when memory fades, so too does the pain and the joy.
Oh, so actually, Monkey Mane, we kind of know what the thing is. It is a it's a swaddling cloth. So there was, here, I'll show you. What is it? Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, French diaper. Baby diaper and story trailer. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so this was changed, but this is our proof that it happened. So this was a French artist. I'm excited to share with you my small contribution for the trailer of the new Elden Ring project by FromSoft that I had a chance to work on during my apprenticeship at Unit Image. Congratulations to the whole team. I helped on texturing, modeling, and look dev for some spike, corpses, and blood on the cloth. So this is cloth, but she originally wrote baby diaper. And she, I believe, is French. So baby diaper could have meant swaddling cloth. So she's pulling something out of a swaddling cloth. And we think the only swaddling cloth that exists is the Godskin swaddling cloth. And, Godskins are snake guys, and you get that from the snake snail, and Mesmer is a snaky guy. So in this scene, Marika is taking, the mimic is taking something from baby Mesmer and using that to provoke the greater will. Well, we'll get that in the future.
I know that little editing trick where you you play the footage like normally and then reverse.
Yes.
I've had to do that a time or two.
Yeah, you got. I mean, you got to do the best you can. But now, you know me. In the future, if I had to do something like that, green screen and costumes.
A tip that I can give you for something like this is you can also slow the footage down to like half speed or something.
I did that already in this video.
Drastic of a difference most times, especially if you're recording at 60 FPS.
And I did that with the moon.
If you do slow down and then do the reverse as well, like with that, it can, you know, kind of work just as well. But anyway.
Does the pain and the joy with it. Thus did Rennala repeat the process, eventually becoming utterly dependent on it. It was sleep to her, and with each awakening memory of grief and of joy, she faded into oblivion.
So I would also say that's very contentious. Certainly we know her scholar children experienced that, but that's because it's a metaphor for like rebirth itself. We don't actually know if Rennala experienced that kind of sensation the same way.
Law of regression. Regression is the pull of meaning, that all things yearn eternally to converge.
The cold and fearsome dark moon witch.
This way, tarnished. May I have a word? A pleasure to meet thee, tarnished. I am the witch Rennala.
Hey, Black Swordsman's back.
Dressed in a witch's pointed hat, rigid and frozen through, of a style associated with practitioners of heretical sorcery, Ranni returned to the lands between. Her spirit housed in a doll modeled after her secret mentor, the woman who led her to her moon, and garbed in her very clothes. Ranni has returned to weave her night into being. Though Ranni may not know it, she was following in her mother's footsteps.
Disagree with that.
Disguising herself in the same garb that Rennala once did.
Disagree with that.
And forging oath-bound allies, like she once did.
Agree.
And overcoming her enemies, like she once did. To follow the path.
Editing issue there.
Overcoming her enemies, like she once did.
Boom.
To follow the path of the dark moon.
Disagree with this.
Like she once did. In the Grand Library of Raya Lucaria, there's a locked chest that is passed down to Carian princesses. Inside, a wedding ring.
Oh, we're looping back to the beginning. Dark Swordsman gets the wedding ring.
Hidden in a locked chest that has been passed down from many queens.
This is important for the Black Swordsman saga. You gotta remember this.
That is a very contentious statement, and we
What
talked
is it?
about this more on like.
What's contentious?
So that is a very contentious statement, and we talked about this more on like the Discord a couple days ago. That it's not really many queens or many princesses, and I equated this kind of similar.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, this is old news. We already did this. This is it's kind of like irrelevant without Rennala. Without Rennala.
So it was thee who would become my lord.
Oh, little
Oh,
Ranni,
favorite part.
my dear daughter, weave thy night into being.
She will, Rennala. She will.
Nah, it's because the real ending, the Frenzy Flame ending, though.
No, bro, if you think the Frenzy Flame ending, nah, it's got a flash of white light. This is the true canon ending. Okay, so the last thing in the video is me saying thank you. So let's see what my thank you was. I don't really care what a... Truly Yours by Windmills. Okay, so here's my outro.
Hey everyone, Jack here. I wanted to take a minute or two at the end of this video to say
Hey, it's
thank
me.
you if you watched all the way through, if you watched
Aw.
my previous video, and also just give a little explanation to some of the theories that I threw into this video. We have a woman, Rennala, who is, when we find her, continually making new children who are frail and short-lived over and over and over again. And as I painted in the video, I
The music in the background having windmills play, this is a reference to Epic Name, bro.
think it's because she misses her daughter. There's a long tradition, as stated in the Discarded Palace Key and the
Oh,
Dark
wow,
and
I'm really
Great
nervous
Sword
here.
of princesses getting passed down a wedding ring, or giving their future husband a beam of light.
Or
from
Jax.
This occult moon that they secretly follow.
No, I didn't really take many notes in
Something
this
like
session.
This is a little unorthodox, but it has a lot of validity. It also gives us a different understanding of the timeline and the lore
Three
of the
Jacks.
Elden Ring. If
Three.
Rennala is truly grieving Ranni's death, Well, that would mean the Night of the Black Knives occurred
Yeah, here's it.
before Radigan left for the capital. It would mean that it happened before Godfrey was banished. So what does that mean for the story? If Radigan wasn't at the capital yet, and as some people believe Miquella was allied with Godwin in some way, what does that mean for the birth of the Twin Empyreans? If Rennala has been an adherent for the Dark Moon, and it's a tradition that's passed down from mother to daughter and mother to daughter and shared with their husband, what does that mean for the Carian cults? Why did they come to the area? Why did Radigan get sent from America to
Here's a
go to war in
dedication
the area
that's
and
truly
eventually have a marriage
yours.
together? If he knows about
And
the
all
Dark
the
Moon, what does
others
that mean for America knowing about the Dark Moon? So there's a
yours,
lot of
my
questions
brother.
we can ask just for changing one
Count
simple
on
thing to our
them.
understanding of the
Here's a
story.
dedication that's truly yours.
We have an example of Renna the Snow Crone really being Rennala in disguise. We have Ronnie's Dark Moon telling us that her mother led her to her moon, and her moon was a dark moon, but we have some spells and some items saying that the Snowy Crone Witch was a heretical witch in the woods who taught Ronnie. So which one is it? Castle Soul and uncovering the mysteries of the eclipse. Please stay tuned. We'll be talking about Miquella, the Night of the Black Knives, Ronnie, Godwin, and Golden Order fundamentalism in the next video. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you very much.
Wow. The music's overlaid. Really amateur editing mistake. Alright. Alright, everybody. I appreciate I'm not gonna react to his video because the tarot told me not to. But instead, what I really want to do is thank everyone who's a member. Thanks to everyone who's watching. Instead of saying something, let me show you.
What did you say?
For everything I've done wrong, I'm only right till I'm wrong again. Reborn of thought, whose thought was gone. The more I failed, the more I've learned the man whom I say I am. Reborn of thought, whose thought was gone.
I see myself in front of crowds as big as if you can imagine your life without the possibility of a distraction. My state of mind is controlling my thoughts to reach a level of MC no MC has ever crossed. I'm going into places they don't want to hear my voice and put a rhythm to their body like it doesn't have a choice. And knowing who I am is knowing who I'll become. So even when I took a loss, I found the reason I won. The real loss is I decide if I'm no longer in rap. It's everything I ever wanted. You can quote me on that. I'm living my dream right now. It's weird as it seems for people who don't love a beat enough to know what I mean. Grew up a part of the first MCs where I'm from that made a person try to be the person I already was. When a pair of turntables decorated your place, if only cut you're gonna make is when you're shaving your face. Friends never used to talk about the good old days where the future's so bright they had to put on shades. We had the same people out to fuck us over on assignment to ride it out hornier than in the city driving. On our own or disappearing with time. That's why I'm here, nobody has a spirit clearer than mine. The kind of MC when all I came to do was perform. They want to battle like they thought they heard the name in the song. I'm on a path that's gonna redefine the meaning of rap until it's easier to take your own life and come back. The only reason why the music's getting harder to sell is cause it's time they figure out they sound like everyone else. And it's
For
why
everything I've done wrong, I'm only right till I'm wrong again. Reborn of thought, whose thought was gone. The more I failed, the more I've learned the man whom I say I am. Reborn of thought, whose thought was gone. It never came all the same. Why you stay the same? So you say the thought was gone.
Ain't nobody tripping cause I don't want to rip this up or all out destroy. Ain't nobody tripping cause you suckers lack focus. Cause you suckers lack focus. Ain't nobody tripping cause I don't want to rip this up or all out destroy. You need to understand how much it took for me to be here. Before you're telling me how much I need to change my ideas. Cause if you know that there's a sun above the clouds when it rains, then my answer to your question's been already explained. And if you want to talk about if there's a struggle I hold, it's my decision to continue it and grow on my own. I was the kid that didn't want to live as long as I have. I used to be a lot older than as young as I am. So I don't need advice on what I need to do to be rich by any of you if you want someone who already is. I've been the problem for almost everyone that I've known, that I've been keeping others from me and getting too close. I found it easier to deal with things when no one's around. Then I become the only reason why I'm bringing me down. My heart is strong enough to make you take a look at yourself and change the way you're gonna think in front of somebody else. I understand if you're mad, but this is who I am. And this is what I know now, I wish I knew back then. I'm not inspired anymore by other people I've heard. I'm inspired, I continue on with writing these words. It's my life, my decision, and it's full of mistakes. So how I'm living wasn't meant for if I'm playing it safe. To rip a man so bad that who he's kicking it with, his chick is going home as though her dick is bigger than his. I'm here to make you lose your mind as if you're on the desert sand, where the things can disappear like they were never even there. Go and act as though there's nothing I can say or do. I'm always gonna have me with or without you. Right now another rapper got arrested for bail. Can't wait for the mugshot, take it in jail. Keep fighting over nothing just to get me to watch. I'm too busy thinking having everything that I want. And it's because
everything I've done wrong, I'm only right till I'm wrong again. Reborn of thought, whose thought was gone. The more I fail, the more I've learned to remain. Whom I say I am, the thought, whose thought was gone.
I concentrate on it all the time, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like what I do when I'm writing, I'm putting down my life, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I don't believe in writer's block, so when I get to the point where, you know, I'm getting slow on the ink, I just put the pen down, then I go back out in the world and live. So, you know, I'm not rhyming, I'm just thinking, you know what I'm saying? So when I get back to the paper, I got more life to put down.
You have a heart of gold. Don't let them take it from you.
my soul laced up the body.